What's going on, y'all? Good morning. This is my dude Lassie back with another video. I didn't think that I'd be making a second video this morning, but here we are. Um, so earlier today, I spoke about the statue in Times Square and talking about how the representation with that, or the quote-unquote representation with that, is a bit questionable, and we should start asking more questions. But I'm here to address a hot topic that's been going on for the past week, 2 weeks or so, about the individual who killed, about the gentleman whose son was killed by a police officer, and in turn, he went and killed a retired deputy. So I've been seeing like this has been causing an uproar amongst the community, amongst the black community specifically, and a lot of people are trying to justify the father's actions of taking out the deputy because they say that, and their logic is police do it all the time, so this right here they'll be all right. And I'm like, that line of thinking is asinine. That way of thinking is stupid. It's not conducive to the greater picture. A lot of people talking about they want change, they want this, they want that, but they got to understand that the change initially starts with how they think, how they view the world. Because everybody keeps talking about, oh, but but white people this, but white people that. That don't matter. It doesn't make it right if it was black, white, brown, whatever. Like the fact that you went out and took out an individual that had nothing to do with the situation simply because they wear the same uniform is stupid. It's simply just stupid. I really don't know any other way to say it. Me and my kid's mom, we got into it this morning, and I guess we're broken up now because it's like she's on the side where it's like, yo, we black, all black, everything black, this, black that. But I'm like, no, you can't do that because there are some people who are not representative of who we are or who we're going to be or where we're going. And you got to understand that all skin folk is not kinfolk in a way that a lot of people are thinking, in a way a lot of people are moving is very questionable. It is like you really should question where you stand on that because like I'm not, like I used to be one of those all black everything, but I'm not one of those individuals anymore because it doesn't really serve me. It's not conducive to where I want to be, where I want to go. And also it keeps you in this victim mentality to where you feel like that everybody is against you, like the world against you and stuff like that. But no, it's not, that's not the case. Like we're living in a time where we have all this information available to us. We have all these opportunities available to us. Like the opportunities that we have now were definitely not available 10, 20, 30 years ago, let alone the technology. So it is like, how oppressed are we really? You know? Um, and it's like, I don't want to make it sound like I'm going around in circles, but people are really trying to justify this nonsense. And it just doesn't make sense. And as a father, I understand. Well, I don't understand what it means to lose a child, but I understand the need to protect and provide and things of that sort. Like, so I understand that aspect, but the way that things were going about, I think that ultimately it was wrong because now the guy, his son is still dead, the deputy is still dead, the father is in jail, and the person who killed your son is still out there, still alive. He still gets to go home, still gets to collect a check and things of that sort. So it's just like, what was accomplished truly? If anything, this just perpetuates a cycle. So we just reset everything like going. It's like, all right, cool. We took one out, they took one out. Like we're even now, and now we just wait for the next event to happen again. So it's like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing for real? And not even mentioning what was found on the young man who was killed by the police. But that's something that people don't want to take into consideration. Everybody just want to look at the situation itself and not the circumstances that caused the situation to get to that point. Because from what I understand, from the facts that I've read in the case, stolen car, guns, running from the police. I don't know how many times I've heard this same song, but I'm honestly tired of it. And I'm not going to stick by or stand around and allow people to, how can I say, to disperse that rhetoric around me because it's like, yo, we're not victims. We're really not victims. No matter how much you try to twist it, no matter how much how you feel about it, The fact of the situation is we're not victims of the situation. And the individual, the father was wrong. Simply straight up and down. The father was wrong. Because, like I said, the person who killed his son is still out there. So what was accomplished really? And now the father's going to jail for the rest of his life. So really, what are we doing? What are we doing? For real.